Hi there, welcome to 20 for 20. My name is John Cavula with the Elks National Foundation. Today I'm joined by Gunnar James, a 2020 Top 20 Most Valuable Student Scholar, sponsored by Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Lodge number 599. Thank you so much for joining us today, Gunnar.
Thank you for having me.
So first, can you just introduce yourself and tell everybody where you're from?
My name is Gunnar James. I'm from Stringer, Mississippi.
Very cool. And where are you planning to go? Where are you planning on going to school, and what will you study?
I'll be going to Mississippi State University to study aerospace engineering.
And how did you decide on aerospace engineering?
Well, when I was a little kid, my biggest dream was to be a fighter pilot. That's what I always wanted to do. I want to be in the Air Force. And so whenever I got into high school, I started taking all like the engineering classes, and engineering was kind of what I felt like I would be good at. So I kind of put that mix of the two, the airplanes and stuff like that I dreamed of when I was a kid, and that engineering and the aerospace engineering. And that's just what I've fallen in love with and dreamed to do one day.
Very cool. So is your plan still to become a fighter pilot, or are you thinking like more, I don't know anything about aerospace engineering, or would you be like designing planes and stuff like that?
I'll be the designing planes, yes, sir.
That's very cool. What does service mean to you?
Service means a lot to me. I know around my community, just the impact you see this whenever you really get involved into your service, you see what actually a big impact it has and how much there are some people that depend on it, because I come from a really poor part of the state and even part of the country. And so I've been able to get involved with so many different organizations, stuff like that. And you really see how it impacts other people and how they can depend on it. And then from you just being there present and willing to volunteer that time, you can see that they know there are people out there to care for them. They're not just out there alone trying to struggle through life. And so it's really just amazing to see what kind of impact just you donating your time or donating your resources to these other people, to see that there are people out there that care for them. And I think that's a really big impact that's had on my life, to want to get more involved and want to do more, and so that I can continue to see that impact.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have like a favorite service project you've done or organization that you volunteered with before?
One of the coolest ones that I've done is at our church. We have this thing called the Lighthouse, and what it is kind of like a food bank and a clothes closet. And so every so often now with the coronavirus, we've had to alter a little the way we do it, but what we do is we put together all the food and supplies that they need, and that they'll drive through the car line, and we go and hand them out, and we talk to them, we make relations with them, not just supplying with them food, but for supplying with them with just human contact with other people. Especially now, contact is so important, what relation you can make. And so even just that little, giving them food, giving them a smile, giving them a wave, say, hey, how you doing? That's what has been most of my favorite, because I've been able to meet a whole lot of people that have been able to offer so much just to impact my life, as well as I've been able to impact theirs.
That's very cool. What would you say is your proudest achievement and up to this point in your life outside of academics?
That's a hard one. I would say proudest achievement would have to be, say, kind of the new lifestyle, because used to, I say, I was never more like the sporty guy, like the kind of strong or anything like that. And so when I was about 10th grade, it kind of dawned on me that, like, that lifestyle was something I shouldn't, I'm sorry, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but
You're good.
I would say baseball. I'm a big baseball fan. I've played baseball all my life, but the way I would prepare for that performance and stuff like that, because I never put the time in for practice, never put the time in for working out and stuff like that. But I think it's 10th grade, my coach had to kind of sit down with me. He was like, hey, if you want to be great at anything, not just in baseball, but in your life, you got to work for it. You got to push yourself to do it. And so that kind of change right there led to a change in the way that I live my life, and not just putting 100% into, academics, whatever, but putting 100% in whatever I do, putting 100%, whether I'm listening to weight room or even just if I'm talking to somebody new, you got to be 100% right there. And so I would think playing baseball and just all the experience that I've had has definitely had one of the bigger impacts on my life.
Yeah,
Outside of that.
that's a great answer. Yeah, just it's cool how, especially like I'm a big sports guy, just how many lessons you can learn through sports that apply to everything outside of sports.
Yep.
So, what is being an Elk Scholar going to help you do?
I'll definitely help be able to open up opportunities for college. Um, it's just how much that has been able to open my eyes to now having the financial means to be able to do college. I never thought I'd be able to be like have all the opportunities and stuff like the extra opportunities, because now with the scholarship I'm able to afford, maybe like study abroad, maybe a master's degree, and that's something that's opened up opportunities to me to be able to build on and not just settle for whatever's right there in front of me. Now I have so many more chances to be able to go further and push further and to be the best that I can.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're glad we were able to help you.
Thank you.
What was your favorite part of the virtual top 20 weekend that we did?
The game night was pretty cool. That was, yeah, but I'm kind of mad I couldn't hang because I was so tired and that I got off 9 or 10 and they were texting the group chat. They were still going strong like 4 a.m. I was like, how do you people do it?
Yeah, I talked to my last interview was with Madison, and yeah, she was saying she was up till 4 in the morning playing.
Yeah.
What was the favorite game? What was your favorite game that y'all played?
We played, what was the first? I can't remember what the very first game was called, but we all had to write down our clues on what the word was they tried to do. And if you had the same clue, it canceled out. And the person,
it's called Just One.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that one's really fun.
Favorite.
Very cool. So do you remember what you were doing when you found out that you were going to be a top 20 MVS scholar?
I remember I was just sitting at home, I think eating lunch, and it was kind of crazy when I first found out, or even when I was just like the semifinalist, because I had done this application, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this small school and all that kind of stuff. And then it was like, hey, you're district qualified. Hey, you're state qualified. And I was like, okay, maybe just nobody's ever heard of this scholarship. So I'm just like, by default. And it was like, hey, you're national semifinalist. I was like, whoa, okay. And so then it was, doing the top 20 application. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this. And then I got the email and it was like, hey, you're a top 20 scholar. I was like, what in the heck? And so I was just kind of blown away, like amazed that I was selected, because I was like, there's no way I could actually gotten this, but I was pretty blown away.
Very cool. What makes you an Elks Scholar?
I would say just, not just applying yourself to one certain thing. I would think to be a scholar, it can't just necessarily be, just have good grades. There's a bunch of people that just have good grades, but I think something that me and the rest of the scholars this year have been able to show is there's so much more that we have to offer than just being a good student. There's being talented in so many other aspects. I know there's people talked about, they play so many musicians, they're in these clubs, there's organizations. And I think just being that well-rounded person is really what makes me be able to, and the rest of the top 20 to be able to be an Elks Scholar.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one thing we love about our scholars, just how diverse they are. And yeah, it's all about being well-rounded, not just getting the good grades, but being involved in baseball and band or whatever. What is something you are passionate about outside of school and baseball? Like any clubs you're in, or maybe something you're really looking forward to doing once you get to Mississippi State?
One thing I'm really passionate about, I love working out now. That's what, everybody calls like a gym rat, a gym, and I'm either at the gym or thinking about the gym. That's just something, sounds kind of weird, but hey, that's what I'm into. That's one of my passions. And so I'm really looking forward to be able to get involved in all like the recreation and stuff that they have at Mississippi State. That they have what's called the Sanderson Center, kind of like the rec center, and they have so many cool opportunities to be able to not just go and be able to like get involved in like rec teams and clubs and stuff like that. And so I'm really looking forward to being able to be a part of that.
Awesome. All right, my last question is, if you could say anything to all the Elks watching this video, what would you say?
I would say, thank you for this opportunity, first of all. It's kind of crazy just to be able to say I'm a part of this. And yeah, I just don't think I can say anymore, but just thank you for this opportunity. It's a really big blessing to my life.
Awesome. Well, we are glad to have you in the Elks family. Thank you so much for joining us today, Gunnar.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in. If you like the show, be sure to like and subscribe to the ENF YouTube channel. Thank you so much for helping us build stronger communities and being crucial members of the #Elks family. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Awesome.